Hello. So I just want to make a really quick video on like a Moira change or a Moira rework that would be just so much better than what we have because as everyone knows, everybody hates the right click or the right click because it's corny. The range is really far. Auto aim sucks. 20 DPS regardless. It's still a cheesy ability, and I think the main factor that people don't like it is just because it is really like gimmicky and simple to use. Whereas like if you really wanted to do a DPS, you'd probably use like Ana, Baptiste, Brig, like people who actually have to do well, wouldn't have, but like people who actually do DPS. So with that being said, this looks really ghetto. So like the left click could be something you shoot. It would be like an arrow shape, maybe like snake head, something like Moira core. You could shoot one of these or multiple of them depending on. However, we keep the 20 DPS damage, but when it hits someone, it has like a lingering over time effect. Not as strong as Widow's Mine, but like so maybe the initial hit of the arrow or whatever it is like 5 damage, and then it'll do up to like, like the 20 damage per second. And I think it would give Moira a lot more flexibility in the DPS department because I am a Moira main. The biotic grasp is so boring. Like it's like, oh yeah, I'm like reaching you across the map. So boring, so fun. Anyway, that and then with the utility factor, I think necrotic orb. So with this, I think we reduce the damage that it does, and we could take something like what we had on the April Fool's patch, where you could hold it in place. So let's say we reduce the damage by half, but anybody being hit by it has either a damage reduction for like say maybe 1.5 seconds, um, and you can hold it in place. But obviously we're giving her utility versus damage, so the damage is going to be very minuscule compared to what it used to be. The healing orb, I think the healing orb could stay the same because obviously it's just a healing orb. It's super good, super strong. But again, we could hold it in place. But if we can hold it in place, I would say for such a strong tool like that, either it disappears faster or it does less healing. Obviously, it'll have to be on a higher cooldown, especially the damage orb. So they'd probably have like two separate cooldowns, if that makes sense. And then coalescence, the buff it got this season 4, was like super good, super immense strong healing. I don't get instantly clocked by like Sombra or somebody because I popped my healing ult and now I don't have it anymore. So I think it can stay like that as it is. I don't think the ult needs anything else. But in regards to that, I think the aim should be changed, because if Symmetra's aim got changed, why can't Moira's? Just make it something like this. It travels slowly. Maybe it has a little bit of, like, I wouldn't say aimbot, but like a little bit of tracking. Because, I mean, like, if it's going to do solo damage, to me, I think it would be okay if it did very, very little tracking. I'm not talking Cassidy shit. Like, that shit should be just removed from the game. That's so corny. So, bruh. But yeah, it, like, do something like that. Change the healing orbs. The ult can stay fine. But, if we're all going to do this as well, oh, I forgot to mention, when she does this left click, this new one, in my head, I'm just going to put it in my head because it's not happening, it would also give you back, healing from a distance. Maybe you can see it floating towards you, sort of thing. Who knows? Um, and then also her healing output, I would say reduce it by a good amount because I think it's 75 right now or a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, maybe like 60, 65, maybe a little bit less, just because if you're going to change something and give so much utility, if you keep that healing so high, this character's going to become a literal monster, and like we don't really want another healing monster. Oops, I didn't mean to open that, because like the supports are supposed to have so much utility, right? Meanwhile, Moira is just kind of like, yeah, take a little bit, give a lot, sort of. But Yeah, we don't want support monsters because we had season 1 and 2 Kriko, and look what that did for us. Put fade on, I think it's on a 7 second, so maybe like a 9 second cooldown. Goes the same distance, you can still jump, but like in a very small area. You and maybe like one other character, depending the distance. I would say like I can't do a small area and without whatever. So in a small area, the other character would get a fade. I'd say maybe max 2 other characters because again, we don't want to make another support monster. We don't want Kuriko 2.0. We just want something with more utility. Anyway, thanks. Bye.